Host Morales from Black Women TV, talking to Marissa Joe regarding Black Cake, another series. Obviously, you're coming from one after the other. What led you to take on this one and adapt it?
Well, I actually, when I was scouting locations for my first show as showrunner, Women of the Movement, I was in Mississippi and I was driving across the country during COVID, and I read this manuscript for Black Cake, and I immediately called my agent and said, I have to do this, and it's not a movie, it is a series. I'm like, there's too much going on, there are too many characters, and it's so rich. And I have to be the one to tell the story. Nobody else can do it. No one else can adapt it. And so I met Charmaine Wilkerson, the amazing author, and I just told her, my personal connections to this material. The main character, Covey, who is this half Jamaican, half Chinese girl coming of age in this tiny little community and trying to figure out where she belongs and trying to find her voice. I understood that on such a primal level growing up, where I grew up in this tiny little village in the middle of Illinois as this mixed race girl who didn't look like anybody in her town. And I just wanted to protect the characters, to protect the story, but I wanted to do something very different from my last show. I wanted to do a murder mystery / family drama with Black people, brown people, Asian people, and queer people as the main characters of the story. Like, I wanted our Little Fires Everywhere, Big Little Lies, a premium cinematic, amazingly juicy drama. And it was just perfect. It just came to me at the perfect time. And I just saw it immediately, and how my take on it would just be playing with the timelines and perspectives and points of view, and structuring it differently from the book, in order to get, as much as we can from all of these amazing characters, hopefully over multiple seasons.
Unlike the last one, Women of the Movement, where the audience knows half of what's going on, and so you're playing with, here's what we have to show because we already know this. And, so it's almost like a comic book where, like, they're expecting to get what they get from what they've read. Here, it's a book, but these are new characters for us who haven't read the book. How much liberty was taken, because you have to create cinematic liberties so that, it works on screen. So when you read the book, and obviously you have a personal connection to it, but how much did you add in there that those who read the book may find a bit different?
Well, it's pretty true to the book. But what a lot of people don't understand when you're adapting a book is you have to change things. Dialogue written in a book it can go on and on and on and on, and you have to have, you have to intercut, you have to have people interrupt each other in a series. But also I had to adapt things in the book. For instance, episode 3, the events that unfold in episode 3, in the book, it was one page. It was a big event that happened in the character's life. And I needed to make it an hour of television versus one page. So I had to build out the world. The same for episode 7. It was, I think, a chapter, a couple pages, but it's this massive turning point in her life. And we just had to build out the world, and we had to populate the world with all the characters because they aren't specified in the book. So that's really, for the most part, the bigger changes that we made. We added some people to events who weren't at the reception in the book. We added some people in the series to certain events. But I'd say for people who love the book, I love the book too. And I would never acquire the rights to a book only to dismantle it. I don't understand that. And, and having, Oprah Winfrey as an executive producer, she also is a protector of books and loves books. And I don't think she would have wanted to get this amazing book and then just throw it away and start from scratch. But we've structured season 1 so that, we don't get everything that's in the book in season 1, because we want to really, really give it its time and its due. And so that means, not all stories from the book are told in season 1, but that doesn't mean that they won't be told, because I have plans to tell many more of those stories beyond.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking around, cheating, trying to get the whole story. It's like, especially when it's based on the book, like, let's find out what happens next.
Yeah.
But not only are you dealing with the story, but obviously with this particular series, you're dealing with settings, and time periods, and that could be a journey and challenge itself. Especially, you never know what the budget is. Oh, but you're cutting it from here and there, and you're dealing with time periods. So how was it for you, knowing that in your previous works, this is different from the others?
Yeah, that was what was so exciting to me about the book, and the challenge of crafting the pitch and making it very clear that this is over 50 years, you know, this is 5 different countries that we are, this is set in Jamaica, in Scotland, in Italy, in Southern California, in London, in present day and in the past, and still wanting to do that and not wanting to just make it, oh, predominantly present day, and then maybe we go to Jamaica. But it was a challenge. Luckily, we have some wizards in production who made it all happen budget wise. But it was a lot of work, a lot of travel, but it was such an amazing challenge because it worked out. You know, it's on the screen, it looks beautiful. We have amazing cast, but it was really, really hard to have it all work out that way, because when you're multiple timelines, that it's not just, you know, structure, it's costumes from from different time periods, different countries, wigs, you know, from different hairstyles in different locations, and continuity, keeping track, you know, Benny, what year is it? What was her hair look like? Did she have a nose ring in this year? Like, keeping track of all of that was a massive challenge, but with this amazing cast and crew, we did it.
Mhm. And then there's the cast. You know, you've got Mia and Adrienne and Ashley and on, you know, but it also, you know, you need strong performances, and you have that here. So talking about putting this cast together, and, you know, getting the best of what they got.
Well, Black Cake, the show, is nothing without this amazing cast. I mean, these roles are very challenging and complex, and so finding the actors to fit the roles was also very very challenging, very complex, very like a lot of work from a lot of people. But it was an international search, you know, for 99% of these characters. But it all started with Mia finding Covey and finding an actor who was, you know, authentic, you know, ethnically, but that could portray a teenager going through massive turning points in her life to becoming a woman running for her, literally running for her life, lying, but still loving her, rooting for her, as she comes of age, seeing her as, you know, walking down the aisle with her father, to fighting with her father, to falling in love for the first time. So finding that Covey was step one, and it was very challenging. But as soon as, you know, I saw Mia, I knew, I'm like, it's Mia. And then finding Eleanor, someone who can be Mia, who we believe is Mia, who also ages from, you know, 40s to beyond, that was another challenge. But finding Chipo Chung, who not only looks exactly like Mia, but is just an astonishing actor, and we aged her, and she can play so many different ages. That was she's such a gift, and I'm so grateful. And finding Bunny, someone, to me, Covey and Bunny, that relationship is the soul of the book. And what really surprised me about it was just they're soulmates. It's not a romantic thing, but they are soulmates to me. And Bunny and Lashay, and how funny she makes Bunny, and how strong and brave and cool. Like, I wanted to be those girls, like seeing them in Jamaica walking around in their cool clothes and messing with each other and being able to poke fun, but still be there when it matters. Finding Lashay was also, you know, an international search, but we found her. Adrienne Warren was not a search because I knew her. And I was editing my first show. And so I heard her when I was writing the Benny version, the TV show version of Benny, and I added the music element, which will come in a later episode, because Adrienne's music and singing, even though it's not part of her character in the book, and I just heard Adrienne as Benny, and I was so grateful that Adrienne wanted to come and play with me for the second time. And then Ashley, who no one knows that he's British, because, like, unless you know him, and he speaks on set, you know, in his American accent, and it's so good, and he's so deep, and he takes such detailed notes. And I could go on and on about this amazing cast, but they all cared so much. And so that's why it's showing up on the screen. When you care and you're that invested in a character, and when you have your own personal connection to the material, which all of them do in their own way, I think it just shows in their performance and their commitment.
I also, you know, when someone says, you know, something was personal to them, whether they're writing, directing, starring, and they have a personal connection, it's almost a little bit, I wouldn't say like an albatross, because it's now out of the way. Unlike a previous project, we're just working on the set. Here, having done this with the personal connection, what part of your skill set as a showrunner runner has evolved that helps you out moving on from this? Even though we're hopefully going to get a season 2.
Well, I'm always working on many things. And luckily I had worked before I got my first show. I had been on so many different sets. I've learned from so many different showrunners. Um, I I think I'm a collaborator, and it's really just what I hold on to with each show. It's just the people that I work with. And I want to just do more things with people that get what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to say. So I think just the next show, I learned a lot about, overcoming what seemed impossible a lot of the times, and shooting in Jamaica, the most amazing location. It's where the book is set. We were shooting there. But there were a lot of challenges. Weather was a huge challenge, among other things. But that I can do, I can do anything. That I did this. I thought Women of the Movement was very, very hard during COVID, shooting in Mississippi, and the subject matter and how meaningful it was and important it was to get it right. This one, loving Charmaine, loving the book, wanting her to be proud, wanting her to love it. And thank God she does. And she was on set and she got to see it come to life. I can do anything after this, is what the way I feel. Like this was huge. So what's next, hopefully, will be easier. I won't stress out as much.
And before I let you go, I always say, there's a glut of programs on TV, streaming, cable, people are going to the movie theaters. You have to do a lot in terms of marketing in order to get people to know about this, because every week there's at least 20 new things coming out, whether you decide to stay home or whether you go out. What's going to get an audience to watch Black Cake?
Black Cake truly, this is not BS, has something for everybody. There is an epic romance on this show. There is strong female friendship. There's a coming of age story. There are queer characters. There are Black characters, Asian characters, biracial characters, white characters, British characters, Scottish characters. There's something for everybody. It takes you around the world, and it's aspirational, while also being very entertaining. There's a cliffhanger at the end of every episode, but there are deeply rich characters who are going to take you on a profoundly moving journey. So I think if you are a member of a family, whether that's a family of 2 or 17, there's something for Black Cake for everybody. Which is why when I read the book, I just said, this is universal. This is not some niche project. This is universal. And I hope that when people check it out, that they agree.
Job well done. Congratulations on another series. People will be tuning in. Obviously, from what I've seen on social media, people know the book, they've read the book. If not, they love the cast and they're interested in seeing it. So wherever you're at, take care, stay safe.
All right. Bye.